If the weather holds, we'll be ready to go fishing by this afternoon. In the winter, it's a continuous battle with the weather. I'm Silverio Gaspar. I've been fishing out of Gloucester for close to 35 years. My grandfather was a fisherman in Portugal before he came to this country. Now I own and skipper the Blue Waters. Gloucester used to be a thriving fishing port, but it has changed a lot in the last 40 years. I can remember when those run-down buildings were operating fish canneries. There used to be over 400 boats fishing out of here, but now there aren't more than 100. Even though there are fewer boats, it's hard to find and keep a good crew. It takes 7 men to run the Blue Waters. My crew is Italian and Portuguese. A couple of the fellas don't speak a word of English. Once we get underway, it takes about 18 hours to get out to the fishing banks. When we get there, the net goes over. We drag the net along the bottom, and if we're lucky, we'll net a school of fish. We drag for about 2.5 hours. It's always the first drag that seems to take the longest. You don't know whether you've caught anything until you pull it up. All you can do is just wait and see. Finally, I give the signal to haul back. Redfish. They don't bring enough at market to make it worth keeping them. It's too bad, because they're good eating. Now we'll wait again. The cook doesn't get much chance to rest. If he's not on deck working, he's below making a meal. We'll see if we wasted our time or not. It's a good sign when the net floats to the surface like that. There are about 2,000 haddock and scrod there. Sometimes we get a few cod and whiting. Not the bosun's tying holds the... After the net goes back in the water, handling fish is pretty dirty work. That's one of the reasons fishing here in New England is dying out. "30 years ago, fishing was about the only kind of work you could get in most New England ports. But industry has developed, and it's a lot easier to find work ashore. Fishing is not an easy life. We have to spend a lot of time away from our families. I am my own boss, though, and I'd rather be out here at sea than in some office wearing a suit and tie all day. It's a healthy life. First day finished, and a few fish in the hold. 7 more days to go, if the weather stays good. Work doesn't stop when the sun goes down. Every 2.5 hours, the net comes up night and day. At night, the crew take turns at the wheel while I get some rest. We keep plugging away. Sometimes the haul is good, and sometimes you go a day without getting much of anything. Occasionally, gear breaks down. A couple of trips back, the winch quit running while the net was down. We had to return to Gloucester to get it fixed. Lost about 5 days fishing. We fish all year round. Winter storm can be pretty uncomfortable. If it blows too hard, we head for home. Otherwise, we just ride it out. After 8 days fishing, we head for Boston. Boston is the largest fishing port in New England and offers the best prices for fish. The crew doesn't unload the boat. Union workers called lumpers come aboard to do the unloading. Fish are auctioned off. We never know for sure what a load will bring. I've stayed out an extra 2 days because fishing was good. By the time we got to market, the price had dropped. So we made less than if we'd come in after the regular 8 days. This trip wasn't bad, but for the month, each man's earning was less than $500. We work on a share basis. After the expenses are taken out, 1/2 goes to the boat, and the rest is divided between the crew. The fish are already on their way to market by way of a small fresh fish plant on the pier. These plants haven't changed much in 50 years either. The fish will be at market by late afternoon. Well, that's another trip. Now back to Gloucester for a couple of days. If the weather's good, out again. It's hard to say for sure what's going to happen to the fishing industry. If we don't modernize and make it a more comfortable way to earn a living, it's pretty certain the decline will continue. Boat owners aren't making enough to buy the modern equipment they need to really change the working conditions. There's been talk for a long time about government help, but not much has happened yet. I'll stick with fishing as long as I can make a living at it. But if it gets too tough, maybe I'll go to New Hampshire and start a potato farm.